is the 13-year-old son of the king, of the Sultan, who went on to become King Hassan II, the father of the current king. November 8th, 1942, you have the beginnings of Operation Torch, in which Morocco, Algeria, and Tunisia are liberated from the control of the Nazi oppression. You then move on to the film Casablanca being shown in the United States, where people are understanding that the headlines they're reading actually they're able to see something that kind of encapsulates that. As I said, the tension, the risks, the dangers that people were running to try and escape the oppression in Europe. And then you had the ANFA conference in January of 1943. And that was a moment in history that really is unparalleled. You had together here in Casablanca, the leaders of the free world. You had the American President, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. You had Winston Churchill, the British Premier, and you had the French generals, Charles de Gaulle and Henri Giraud, who came here at the invitation of Sultan Mohammed II, who hosted them here to discuss how they were going to prepare for the next phase of the war and ultimately succeed. So again, militarily, critically important. But another huge part of what was happening here was the diplomatic history. When the Sultan hosted these leaders here, he helped set the stage for, as I say, not only the military success for World War II, but what would come after, which would be the alliance of the United States, Britain, France, and other countries to form a new, better world through all of the different institutions that developed and the way that we move forward with our relations in the world. And one of the most amazing things is I'm sitting right now in, as I said, the map room. The map room was the room that Winston Churchill used. This home, Villa Mirador, which is owned by the United States government, was in fact the residence for Winston Churchill during the ANFA conference. So this map room shows, and I'm sure you'll have photos of it, any number of photos of the meetings that were happening. But one of my favorite photos is a photo of the Sultan sitting on the couch with Franklin Delano Roosevelt next to him, Winston Churchill next to him. Behind you have Charles de Gaulle and Henri Giraud. But you also have, standing behind the Sultan, his 13-year-old son, who will go on to become Hassan II, the current king's father. And I think it's remarkable because it shows that these leaders were sitting there really determining the fate of the free world, and what the heavy challenge that they faced and what they had to do, the heavy burden that they carried. And that Morocco was an instrumental part of that, was, as I said, contributed troops that went on to help liberate Italy from the fascist regime there, and that continued the strong relation between our two countries.
King Mohammed V was actually present at this ANFA conference. So in 1956, when the Moroccans asked for their independence from France, we supported them. And today is Independence Day, Moroccan Independence Day.